Okay, so good morning, everyone. So this is second lecture. Yes. So what are the topics which has been kind of have been covered for you in your domain topics? SQL is done. SQL is done. Oh, it's okay, but SQL is done, right? Very good. So what we are going to do, we will do one warm-up activity. Okay. Let me see your understanding about the SQL. Right. So you remember in the first lecture, I had said something like that you should be really active on LinkedIn. Had I said something like this? Had I said or not? The answer can be either yes or no. So had I said something like this, that you should be active on LinkedIn? Oh. The first question is that had I said something like this? Yes. Done. The second question is, had I said something like this, that whenever you are there on LinkedIn, try and understand the various job profiles which are available under this ambit of data science. Had I said something like this or not? Now, have you done anything on this? No. Yeah, very good. So the first step was to create a profile. See, why I am saying this, because I mean, everybody is understanding or learning or attending these classes for SQL, Python and all. But see, unless you don't know under what circumstances what is going to be used, right? So for example, if somebody comes from Pimpri-Chinchwad to this, anybody from Pimpri-Chinchwad? Okay, very good. You come by scooty or something? Scooty, right? How many, I mean, you can say that how many kind of routes you have found out till date to reach to this place? Just one. But do you believe there is just only one route? There might be others. So why you missed on the others? Because you never explored that. See, so when you don't explore, you don't get to know the other possibilities. So for example, let me give you an example. So I come from camp, okay, command hospital, because my wife is into army. Now, this has been more than a year that I have been following the same route. One day there was a rain and there was a kind of this traffic jam and all. So I explored another route. And what I realized that in my regular route, there are 11 traffic signals, whereas the other route which I followed on that particular day due to rain, it has only 7 traffic signals. Right? Now, I am able to save at least 7 to 8 minutes of time because of those 4 traffic signals. Now, this is a very basic example, very basic examples. You guys have to explore. You have to explore. Then only you will be able to find the most efficient way to solve something. You remember the one example that we had discussed about that preparation of tea and how the tea is going to be different for each one of you. You remember that? You remember what was the example?
Yeah, the material and
but then what was the outcome? So the question was like this, that if I have to ask you, to each one of you, to please write how to prepare tea, each one of you will be writing the same thing, almost same thing, right? This much of sugar, this. But when you are actually preparing the tea, I think if we are 18 people here in this class, or maybe 17 people here in this class, we will be having 17 different type of tests. So that is where you are going to make the difference, not while just remembering and learning the concept. See, in today's time, if we know, please shut down the laptop. Let me tell you one thing. You go and ask all those students who are placed, okay? They will say one thing. The only thing which made the difference was the soft skills. आप SQL में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं सीख लिए हो जो उन्होंने नहीं सीखा। ट्रेनर आप दोनों का सेम था, लेकिन शायद मैं आपको बता पाऊंगा कि आपको कैसे प्रेजेंट करना, और वही डिफरेंस क्रिएट करेगी। ये तो आप मानते हो ना? वैसे भी आप लोगों के लिए सॉफ्ट स्किल्स बहुत कम क्लासेस होती है, तो भाई जो 3 घंटा मिला उसको तो सुन लो। आपको जॉब चाहिए? यस और नो? तो nobody fights for the cake. Everybody is worried about the cherry on the cake. Soft skills is like a cherry on the cake. केक सेम होता है, जो उस पर क्रीम लगती है वो डिफरेंट होती है। यस और नो? सॉफ्ट स्किल्स वो क्रीम है भाई, प्लीज समझो बात को। ओके, तो हमें यार महीने 2 महीने में एक बार टाइम मिलता है। Okay, so and why I'm saying this, because presently this title interview is going on, and day before yesterday we got 2 rejections and all. No, yesterday only, Monday. So I was going through the recording and all, and what I saw that most of you know the concept, but probably when you are explaining that, you are not able to convince that the next person that I know this. It's more like that you have just mugged up the concept and you are trying to explain. So again, coming back to the LinkedIn and all, see, once you know the various circumstances, right? You must have done some mathematical formulas in class 12 and all. We know in what circumstances which kind of formula should be applied so that efficiently you can solve the problem. The competitions that we have give in our life, they were never about the correct formulas. They were about in what time you are solving it. The IIT was never about the concept or the examination. It was about your ability to apply that concept in the given circumstances. And that is where soft skills will make the difference. Okay. So I'm going to give you this one critical activity. I want to see that what is your level of understanding when we are talking about SQL. Okay. So this is just a warm-up activity, and after this we'll discuss. So we have already done with the elevator pitch. Yes. We are also done with SWOT analysis and all, right? How many of you have really created your elevator pitch after the first session? We have done that story creation. Story creation we'll do today, okay? So before that, let us do one warm-up activity. So online students, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Pratiksha, are you there? Pratiksha Goel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Switch on your camera, please. So online students, if you think that you will be able to crack an interview without your camera, then I think, you are in the wrong world. Or maybe I am in the wrong world. Okay. See, your approach, your comfort with that particular camera is very, very important. Right? But since India is a free country, I can't say anything. That is the kind of a limitation I have. Okay, so I want each one of you to write at least 150 words or 200 words on this particular topic, which is SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. I want to see how you are going to present your thoughts if this is the question. And the answer that you are going to write today will actually define your understanding about SQL. Now, again, the concept is something different and the application is something different, right? So we are going to address the application part. Okay, any question? How much time you need for this? Do you feel that this question is going to lit the lamp of your mind? दिमाग की बत्ती जलेगी इसमें, वही काम करना है. Okay, and that's why I say that this is the warm up activity. So please. Now, again, if you remember, we had discussed something called as IBC. You remember IBC? You remember IBC? What was the IBC? Now, do you have idea that how you are going to implement that particular structure in this question? First section में मिलते IBC वाला कॉन्सेप्ट मैंने डिस्कस किया. आपको लगता है कि आप इसमें IBC इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं? देखो, एक चीज आप समझो, आप लोगों के साथ पता है क्या चैलेंज? यही चैलेंज है, ये चैलेंज. इसको ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए. आप अपने आप को ओपन तो करोगे, आप मेरे को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करोगे तो मेरी सिखाई हुई चीजों को कैसे एक्सेप्ट करोगे? और मैं आपको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करूंगा तो मैं कैसे आपको सिखाऊंगा? My dear friend, please, can you do something without that smartphone? अपने दिमाग में पहले जोड़ डालो. अरे यार, वो तो है ही आपके पास, वो कोई लेके चला जाएगा. मोदी जी नहीं ले सकते. ये तो आप मानते हो कि ये आपसे कोई नहीं ले सकता. तो ये तो अपना है नहीं. एक बार ट्राई तो करते हैं ऐसे. तो एक बार ऐसे ट्राई करते हैं कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. वो आंसर आप ही के पास है, आप फिर उसको बेटर कर लेना. ठीक है? So don't use the smartphone. That should be the last solution. When I am not there, when your trainer is not there, when his friends are not there, फिर तो अकेले का साथी यही है भाई. मैं और मेरी तन्हाई, मैं और मेरा स्मार्टफोन, हम दोनों अक्सर बात नहीं करते, वो होती तो ऐसा होता है। तो स्मार्टफोन आपके अकेले का साथी है, हम सब लोग एक क्लास में let us discuss this, let us learn from each other, okay? आप कहाँ हैं?
I just follow.
तो go and drink, no? Yes. अगर आप देखोगे ना, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, आप मत करो प्लीज, आप सोचो थोड़ा, ठीक है? ये आईएएस एग्जाम है, ये तो आप मानते हो, आपके पास मौका है, मेरे पास मौका है, यस और नो, और दिस इज गोइंग टू बी लाइफ एंड डेथ, ऐसा तो नहीं है ना? तो भाई पहले कर लेते हैं जो आ रहा है, पहले जो मेरा दिमाग कह रहा है वो कह लेते हैं, बाद में बाकी चीजें देख लेंगे, ठीक है मैम? मैं एक चीज जानता हूँ, अगर आप दिल लगा करोगे आपको बहुत मजा आएगा, आपको बहुत मजा आएगा। Yeah, please, please. What we have to do? You read it carefully. After that, I will explain. So we'll do the only first part, okay? Up to topic. Then you may know the second part of the question. So you have to write a speech on the below mentioned topic. The topic is SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. Do you agree with this sentence?
Actually, I didn't get the question.
So SQL is done for you. That's all. Okay. Now, see, and this is where, I mean, I hope everybody has got the question. There is any challenge as far as the question is concerned? Because if it is there, anyway, he has asked, so I have to explain it. So, आपको ये समझ में आ रहा है, मतलब सेंटेंस का मतलब समझ में आ रहा है, एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग, नॉट द कॉन्टेक्स्ट.
सर मेरी थोड़ा सिमिलर लग रहा है. सर इनसाइटफुल का एक देखना.
So insightful decisions मतलब मीनिंगफुल. शायद मतलब एक ऐसा डिसीजन जो शायद आप जस्ट मतलब जस्ट आप ऑब्वियस नहीं कर सकते, rather you have to go deep dive, you have to deep dive into this to get something unique. See, for example, we met for 15-20 minutes, and I said that what's your good name?
So Saurabh.
Saurabh. So I said, Saurabh, he is a very timid guy, he's not good. But then probably I got to spend maybe 2 days with you, or maybe we are part of the same class. I don't know. Saurabh is a good guy. Don't say like this. You have just spent 15 minutes, and how you can say like that? So because since you guys have spent approximately a month with SQL, or more than that, that much time. How much time have you spent with SQL?
Sir, 1 month.
1 month. So 1 month, it means that per week approximately 16 hours of session.
Yes, sir.
1 month means 64 hours.
Yes.
So now you have spent 64 hours with SQL. So whatever your understanding should be insightful. It should not be just the obvious one. Okay. Because my daughter has also studied SQL in class 7. They are teaching by them. Just that basic part of it. But then you have to be different. Right? Yes. Because you have spent 64 hours, and that too from job perspective. It is not that normal one, right? So SQL helps companies make insightful, meaningful, which brings value addition to the organization, that kind of decision from otherwise useless data. So there was a data which was just lying like that, but then SQL was the tool which helped you to get something out of that particular useless data even as well. That is the power of SQL. So on this topic, you have to share your learning, your understanding, and your application, that how actually this is possible. Got it? Yes. Thank you, sir. So it is little easier when you look at it, but it is very difficult to work. सर आप टाइम से क्यों आ रहे हैं? ये पब्लिक यूजिंग में जा रहा है, हमारे लिए ऑफिस हमारे घर के पास थोड़े है. Now again, don't ask me to explain. I have already done it 3 times. आप इधर आओ, come here.
So is there any limit, like
150 to 200 volts. See, I mean, where you feel like it is answer. So the idea is to get the best out of it. Maybe 100 volts, 150 volts, 200 volts. You should feel that yes, this is complete. Don't say that because of time or because of what speed I could not express. I want to get the best out of it. Okay. Obviously, it's something like that. Far better.
सो हमें क्या करना है, आपने स्किल पढ़ लिया, समझ में आ गया। तो यहाँ तक आप पढ़ो, पहले यहाँ तक पढ़ो क्या लिखा है, बस उसके बाद क्या टॉपिक है, समझ आ रही है। इस पे आपको अपने थॉट्स देने, राइट। ये कैसे पॉसिबल है, जो आपने स्किल एक महीना पढ़ा है कंप्लीट हो गया ना, तो आपसे पाइथन में आ, तो देखें कि आप कितना समझे। ओके,
Yes. You know what you have to do?
You have to write a speech.
Yes, sir.
So this is an opportunity for you to express your thoughts, right? Just to know in a very basic way, or maybe in a layman language kind of thing, that what is your actual understanding about the SQL, where you will be spending maybe approximately 64 hours of your time, right? And then you will see the impact of this when the SQL is being asked to you in your interviews. इसका जो benefit है आपको वहां मिलेगा, because then your answer will be very different than what rest of the people are discussing here. So they will be simply talking about the concepts or the formulas, where you will be talking about the concepts, formulas along with examples.
It's done. Okay, I think it's done, right? Please raise your hands. Okay. So How much time you need? 5 minutes? Okay. So we'll start after 5 minutes now. You need to come here and talk about this.
Sir, it's fine, sir. We can still yes.
Focus on one thing, no? Complete it.
फिर मतलब बाकी का लोग जब तक
अरे नहीं आप समाज सेवा मत करो अपना करो.
We can wait for 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
But then I want you to be focused here when any one of you is discussing this. Okay? There will be a lot of learning.
Okay, sir.
Sahi is there and it will be of great help. हाँ हेलो आप अच्छा आ जाओ आना तो थर्ड फ्लोर पे आ जाना थर्ड फ्लोर बिगर क्लासरूम ओके सो ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स रेडी ओके सो प्रतीक्षा एंड हिमांशु you guys are ready? Pratiksha, are you there? Pratiksha, are you there? Yes or no? Okay. Yeah, just a second. Gauri, are you ready? Can you say something to us? Hey, hello, hi, good morning, good evening. We are not able to hear you.
I'm ready.
Okay. So we'll start with Gauri and then we'll move on. So Gauri, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Hello everyone, I am Gauri Zade. Today we are going to talk about how SQL is playing dominant role in the organizational decision. I have seen too many data in MS Excel and Google Sheets where thousands of rows and columns are exist. But recording any data is easy process. But when it comes to analyze any data, it becomes a challenging process for any organization. If there would not be SQL database relationship management system tools, we might ended up just wasting of our time to record that data because recording that data is not our main goal, but the analyzing of that data is our first aim because that data gives too many information if we analyze properly through and SQL helps us to analyze that data very efficient manner. Whenever companies take meaningful decisions, it all depends on data that companies have because companies have that data. If companies don't have that data, they will not useful if SQL not work. SQL makes it easy to analyze that data and take meaningful decisions. SQL stores tables information in database format and database have large number of tables, and some tables have the relationship with each other. There are some common attributes there are some common attributes info into tables, and that makes the relation with that table. Through that relation, SQL helps organization to retrieve that data which they want for that particular period, because some data might not helpful for organization. Retrieving specific data by writing simple code is the specialization of SQL, because we write code, through code we retrieve what data we want. SQL select command is widely used to fetch any data. Aggregation function of SQL makes data analysis work simple and reduces our time for some mathematical calculation. There are some where clause, join clause, where join clause used for to join two tables, and it is very helpful, make the relationship between two data.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So, but there are a whole lot of things which CIG needs to cover. We'll discuss that. Okay. Please come. Let me see, and then I will tell you that what are the things that we can do.
So, good morning all. The topic is SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useful data. So, in this modern era of globalization, there is continuous evolution of industries, right? Companies, advanced technology have taken place. Now, recently, Elon Musk has introduced us with new AI human robot. You have heard of that. So, how is this possible? The growing of this technology, boosting growth of company or any app like Netflix. As we all know, the basic unit of body is cell. So, similarly, the basic unit of this technology is data. From this, we can realize the importance of data, right? Establishment of SQL in IT industry has also very crucial and major impact. By using this, we can align data. We can make very much complex data into simpler form by using very minute query and get results within a second. As you know, time is money. By using this basic query, we can save lots of time.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Yes, sir. He just started off with the 6 on the first ball, then maybe 4 on the second ball, and then he's out. See, you need to establish what is SQL. What is SQL? Right? See, you started on a very good note talking about that Elon Musk and then the AI he has done. Then you brought it to some extent of Netflix. It's okay, that may go, but then you talk about what is SQL, and then probably it will give you opportunity. The same thing was done by Gauri as well. We are talking about SQL, right? What is your basic understanding about that SQL in maybe 1, 2, or 3 lines? That is very important, because from there we are going to propagate the concept, and then probably this Netflix or Elon Musk or whatever. Okay, so that one definition has by default it has to come in, not exactly in the words that you have read in the book, but probably the way you have understood it. So what is SQL? And then probably you say that SQL is that part of the program or which brings everything together or something, whatever it is. Okay, and then probably yes. Okay, so please.
So according to sir, so SQL is a sequential query language, as you know. So what this
never say ISO. Okay, we don't know.
Okay, SQL is structured query language. So what it does is that it aligns the data and makes it into much. It converts the complex data into simpler form, right? So by using various queries such as group by and joins, we can join very 2 or more tables and align the table, we can get results which we want. So it has made an it is such an ease within such ease we can get the results. So it is very revolutionary idea, and this establishment of the SQL IT industry has made a major impact, and also the growth of the industry and the company. So by
now bring one example.
So for example, if we want to see the insurance record of client and see whether the client is male or female, and the client's age is above 65, we can simply use query such as group by and use condition above 65. So
now one thing is, again, here we have to learn. See, the more and more technical terms you will be using, you are expected to explain each and every technical term. He said something power group by. Now you need to explain that what is this. Now why I am saying this, because when you are talking like this, the interviewer is getting n number of things to ask from you. And that is where you need to simplify this so that you are not going into his trap again. You are getting my point? See, this is where we make the mistake. What we do, we learn all those technical jargons, we bring them together in any one or the two of the answers, and through that particular thing, you open a Pandora of questions, you know, that Pandora box of questions, where they will grill you like anything. They will grill. See, these guys have been working for 10-15 years on the same thing. We are just doing 1 6 months program. They have been working on this for the last 10 years. So anytime you feel that guy is in the mood, no, he will. So the more and more you can simplify, because they have worked so much that it will be really very difficult for them to come to the simpler level. Absolutely. And that is where you can make the difference. Because as far as the basics are concerned, you are the boss. Boss, I have just learned it. I have done 4 projects. Let us discuss this. So don't go on his level. Rather try to bring that person at your level where you are the boss. So,
so I have used group by miss. Group by miss categorizes the data into simpler and.
So rather you can say that we can categorize the data. Don't use that particular jargon. Whatever. Just because see, through that what will happen, then he will ask you, okay, so what is the tool through which you can categorize the data? I know it, Baba. I want you to ask me this one. You are getting my point. लेकिन आप पहले ही उसको सब कुछ बता दोगे. अगर हमें मालूम होगा कि कटप्पा ने बाहुबली को क्यों मारा, तो हम मूवी देखते क्या? नहीं देखते. ठीक है? तो आप indirect way में जाओ.
So, group by categorizes the data, and by using function which we want, it simply uses this function on that category data, and we can get the result. So here we want the customer's age is above 65. So we can use condition age that is greater than 65, and then apply this function to that category data. So from this we can get the complex data into simpler results. So we can save much more time by using this type of queries. So it is very much beneficial. And now what query I have used is much more simpler. So you can get the idea that there are much more queries which we can use so that we can reduce the amount of time. So and you have also heard about that data science is the future, right? And so to learn data science, the first thing you have to learn is the SQL. From that you can get the idea that the importance of the SQL we have. So SQL is also used for analyzing data. What we see, we can see analyzation of data in our daily lives, such as in Netflix. When we see a movie, we can get the recommendation of the simpler genre of the movie. So how is that possible? So this is only possible because of the analyzation of data, which we can get because of the SQL, right? So thank you. So you may give your phone to somebody to record your speech. We'll do this. See, and today when you go back, probably you watch this. You watch this. This will give you a lot of confidence. Please. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kumar Rajan. Today's topic is SQL helps companies to make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. SQL is structured query language, which is a programming language which basically used to sort out the data and which will help us to sort out or separate out the junk data. In today's technology world, lots of data is created. Example, when we fill any application form, we need to fill our details such as name, address, and etc. Lots of data is created at time when we post anything on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. In second, in short, very much data is generated on various applications, and the big deal is when we need to sort out the useless data and to separate out the useful data. So, okay, that time the SQL comes us to rescue us from all this junk data. SQL helps us to get the insightful decisions. And I would like to give some example in which SQL has helps the companies to make a good decision. For example, when we apply for the loan application to the bank, at that time, in that moment, sometimes loan is rejected by 2-3 banks. Then all this data is taken by the loan application company, in which using the SQL they run the command, and using that command they in short sort the rejected loan application and accepted loan application. And using SQL, basically they get the data of the candidate whose loan application is declined. And that time the SQL, SQL helps them to take a decision. Loan company offers to loan to that candidate whose loan application is declined. And in that scenario, companies offer with high interest rate loan offer to that candidate. In this, we can get that insightful decision is taken by the company. Firstly, they get the data of the rejected candidate. Secondly, the candidate gets the loan, but at a high interest rate. But in this scenario, we can understand that SQL helps us to make a good decision. I would like to give one more example. Using the survey, lots of data is created. Okay. But SQL helps us to company to get a useful data. In short, we get useless data. We get lots of data, but the main work of the SQL is to get a useful data. And in that, when company needs to launch any product, in that time, then the decisions such as when to launch the product, in which season we have to launch the product, and in which region the product will have the high demand. All these queries and all these decisions is taken with the help of the SQL. And using SQL commands, we can get a better and insightful decision. And SQL has so many commands such as truncate command, which is used to delete the data, date and time command, which is used to sort out the previous year or any year data, and many more commands such as insert, alter, delete, etc. These are some commands which is used to delete useless data and to separate out the useful data. In short, SQL lets you to access the database and to acquire the information. This information can be about the products, can be about the stocks, and about the order or people, which is used by the businessman or the company not only for the storing the information but also for the retrieving and manipulating the data and to get the insightful decision. Thank you so much.
Anyone of you comes from farmers kind of background. So can you know what are the government schemes for a farmer? For example. Have you heard about it?
Yearly wages.
Scheme yearly wages. Okay. So there is something called as Pradhan Mantri Yojishi, this one, that one scheme where he gives you 6,000 every year, right? Something like this. Now see, why I'm saying this. See, so we have the tendency of talking about only those things which are really very much already talked of in the domain. Maybe take one scheme. Take one scheme. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, for example, or mean anything, and try and see that can any one of these projects and all the things you are doing, can you are providing, I mean, you are able to provide some kind of suggestion or some kind of data input into that, that how government can actually make it more accessible or more easily available to the people. And see, when you are there in that particular interview and when you are talking about such kind of project and you say like, you know, I come from a farmer's kind of family background, and so you know, sir, there is this one scheme which is of government of India, which is the Pradhan Mantri has talked about this, like on this particular concept many a time. But what I have seen that the success ratio is this: the government wants to achieve this. So in my assessment, this is the lacking, and if we can utilize this tool, and if we can utilize this can be the success. आप सोच रहे हो आपने कितना practical example दिया, आप एक genuine problem को solve कर रहे हैं. अभी आप ऐसी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हो अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स में जो सब लोग सॉल्व कर रहे हैं भाई. उबर का फेयर क्या है, वो टैक्सी का फेयर, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, सब लोग लोन्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, इंश्योरेंस के बारे में बात करते हैं, राइट? एवरीबॉडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. सो प्लीज ट्राई एंड ब्रिंग्स दैट काइंड ऑफ, यू नो, प्रोजेक्ट. अगर आप कर सकते हो, मैं सी one of our guy, he has done this project on PMC, this Pune Mahanagar Palika bus and all. See, doing this kind of project, आप सोच रहे हो वो इंटरव्यूअर आपसे उसी के बारे में पूछेगा, क्योंकि उसको कभी किसी ने इसके बारे में डिस्कस नहीं किया. So that is where, you know, that is where we have to make the difference. See, this one new guy has come into engineering cricket team, Surya Kumar Yadav. He's from Maharashtra. This guy is playing 360-degree shots. A ball फेंको भाई. So we have Sadiq sir. You remember this one of his press conference? What he said? He said, "भाई मैं खेलना चाहता हूँ. आप ओपन कराना है, ओपन कराना. आप बोलो मिडिल ऑर्डर में, मिडिल ऑर्डर में जाऊँ. आप बोलो जी फिनिश करना है, भाई मैं खेलना चाहता हूँ." Right? That should be your attitude, and that is where you will be making the difference. Otherwise सब लोग वही कॉन्सेप्ट लर्न करते जाएंगे, आप वही एग्जांपल्स आप भी लेके जाओगे. भाई साहब टेक्स्ट केयर के बारे में बात करेंगे, आप बहुत करोगे, वैक्सीनेशन के बारे में बात करोगे, ये इंश्योरेंस के बारे में बात करोगे. Try and at least get at least one genuine project. Genuine in the sense which is a very ground kind of thing, with where nobody is talking about something. That kind of concept, that kind of problem, when you take along with you in the interview, then both have something to talk about, right? और आपको उसके बॉस, क्योंकि आपने उस पर काम किया है, लेकिन उबर वाले में और ओला वाले में तो सब लोग काम किया है. मे बी हिज प्रोजेक्ट इज बेटर देन यू. वहां पे मैं आपको ड्रिल कर दूंगा बिकॉज ही हैज टॉट मी. I have found his findings more relevant or more accurate or more effective, right? So I have got this information from him. I will drill you like anything. But then having something altogether different, you know, he will like that. Amazing. उसमें आप कुछ गलत भी करोगे तो मार, क्योंकि वो दोनों फिर नहीं आए, right? We both are playing on the third ground, no? Neutral ground. Okay? So very good. Next, who is going to come? Next, yeah, please come. So you may give your phone to somebody to record this. मेरे रिकॉर्डिंग में आप कर लेना. Actually, जब तक दिखाई देता. See, this is how you evolve. All of a sudden आपको कुछ पता है, ये नहीं कर सकते, ये कर सकते.
Hello friends. So our today's topic is SQL is insightful. SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise data. So actually, what SQL is it is a structured query language which was first made by IBM. So they can actually create the data and make it in structured form. So this was actually the basic concept of SQL. And later on, as the years went by, more and more data was formed because of the formation of internet, and big companies even use big data and things like that. So SQL has helped every company and everyone with this structured query.
So he had just used one term called as big data. That was not required at all. That was not required at all. Yeah, continue.
So SQL is used by the companies to make this raw data form in a structured way, and to also make it in a presentable way, so that they can even analyze this data in a way which will help them make decisions which can improve their company's performance, or like there are many like there is a recession going on right now, and companies are actually leaving many of their employees. So they can even use SQL to actually use the data from the employees and the managers to reduce this recession and the way employees are leaving their companies. And in this way, they can even decrease their losses, as when a new employee is about to be hired, they have to do a training on these employees. So the amount of expenditure on these employees is a lot. So SQL will help them in this form, and so I think SQL is a major player which will help these companies with making insightful decisions.
So you said that first of all, you said that there is a recession. Now, don't make any blanket comment like this. Nobody has accepted as of now on the record that there is a recession. So don't be pessimistic. आप देखो इंडिया का फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जब भी आता है क्या बोलता है, अरे नहीं हम सबसे तेज चल रहा है हमारा। तो पहली चीज, क्योंकि देखो आप इंडस्ट्री में जा रहे हो तो पेसिमिस्टिक कमी से है। सेकंड थिंग इज दैट you were not able to actually explain how this SQL is going to help to stop those people who are actually leaving the company. Yeah. Right? You were not able to establish that. One sentence was correct that yes, hiring a new employee and giving them the kind of training and all is it's a costly affair than retaining the existing one. But then how SQL is going to play that role? Okay, that is something we fail to establish. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you here is that make it more simpler. Okay, do not bring some kind of comparison like existing employees or hiring new employees. Rather than the same concept, if you can establish it, because you will get another 2-3 extra sentences in the same domain to establish. Okay. Very good. Next. Let's have the superstar first. Then we come to megastar.
Good morning, guys. SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise using data. SQL is the basic language to help to run the queries properly and easily. SQL means structured query language. SQL is based on relational database management. SQL is mainly used for storing and retrieving data from databases. But it can do much more than that. With the help of SQL, anything you need to do with a database. SQL is flexible and powerful, quick while being accessible. Most important benefits of SQL, it helps companies make insightful and profitable. SQL is affordable for most businessmen. SQL is the language used to interact with relational database. Example, with the help of insert command, you can put values in table, and alter command used to change in database.
Good. The only thing is that the first few sentences, like, for example, where so you were more into the characteristics of that powerful something. So try to talk more of application part, okay, like relational database and all. But it was really very simple. Okay, good.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tejas Moyer, and today's topic of speech is SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. Yes, I agree with the heading of the topic. Structured query language or SQL is a very useful tool to sort the data or to sample the required useful data that the user wants. SQL is easy to understand and optimize, as nowadays it is available even in curriculum of school. Internet is a mixture of useful data and garbage data. And here SQL becomes a tool which will sort the useful data which is required, so we can take further actions on it. Now it's been a month since we were learning SQL. I understood that if your basics in SQL is good, you can solve any query with a good logic. I remember our guide Yogesh Singh sir gave us an insurance loss data which includes more than 50,000 rows and 13 columns. And by using SQL, we sorted all the data to find 20-30 rows output out of thousands of rows. And that query just takes maximum 1 to 2 seconds to run. See how fast SQL is. From that homework or exercise, I personally found that SQL is easy to understand, but not easy to completely understand. It is not just a tool, it is a process that you need to learn time to time. As you can see, multinational companies use MySQL, SQL Oracle for sampling their data, which is of more than lakhs of rows and columns. And in practical world, it is mostly used tool because of its advantages. First, it requires less time to run a query, easy to understand and learn. Third, no need of any particular educational background, as anyone can learn from the scratch. And fourth and most importantly, it helps companies to make insightful decisions.
Very good. Now, the recording that we are doing, it would be really great if you can publish this on your YouTube. Let the people know what is your understanding about something. Right? See, the social media, in a sense, though the way we are using it, we are not taking it in that positive way. Whereas this is a tool which makes you transparent. Yes or no? तो मैंने किसी के साथ अगर 14th Feb को सेल्फी लेके पोस्ट किया वो कभी भी ट्रांसपेरेंट है. Yes or no? You cannot go back on the words. भाई उस दिन तो चार तारे ला रहा था आज क्या हो गया? Right? So when you are going to post this, it will bring a lot of accountability with you. So first you will try to make sure that everything that I'm going to say is really powerful. It's really meaningful. And when you are trying to make it powerful and meaningful, in that process, you are enhancing your learning capabilities. Yes or no? Right? So your involvement in that learning process will get enhanced because I have to share this with the world. Right? And that is the concept we'll discuss. We'll discuss this post activity, that how it is going to happen. So each one of you, those who are there on Google, guys, this is the time to show your knowledge. देखो आप लोग पता है कहाँ फेल करते हो, मैं जेन्युइनली बता रहा हूँ, आप किसी से बात करें ना, इसलिए मैंने साइंस सर को बुलाया, आप बहुत कंजर्वेटिव रहते हो, मतलब इन द सेंस अपने आप को बहुत होल्ड बैक करते हो, इतना होल्ड बैक मत करो, ठीक है यार, गलत होगा भाई दोबारा सीखेंगे, बिल्कुल नहीं, उसमें क्या है, नहीं आता है तभी तो यहाँ है, आता होता तो जॉब कर रहे होते, यस और नो, तो नहीं है तभी तो इतना चीज दिया, फिर इसमें शर्माना क्या है ना? I really like this. Fantastic. Yes. Anyone? Yeah, please come, and then we'll take a break. Huh? Okay. After that, we'll take a break. Okay, sir.
So please record this in a good way so that you can post it on movie as well.
Good morning, friends. Today's topic is SQL helps us company insights in decision from otherwise users. Obviously, SQL help a company for their application. There is a lots of data in all our companies, so we can use SQL for managing data with the help of data analysis. I have suggest one example for you of all. If we can't SQL can be done in companies. There is a client data manufacture companies, so there is a client. So data is deleted by employee. In SQL command delete or truncate, and he has to cover it. The delete command deletes the whole data of that client. So here is the client data is deleted, and company wants that data in urgent basis. So want that data for urgent basis. So company the data of that client is stop that payment and manufacturing material. So it didn't get it. So here is the stop of that payment or payment. So if the payment is stopped, then the client does not give material for company. So here is the loss of company. This is the example of Yogesh Singh sir. They asked us भाई कभी भी डिलीट कमांड यूज करनी हो तो सोच समझ के करना. And I remember it. With the help of SQL, we can insert, alter, delete, or truncate the whole table with the basis of SQL.
Very good. Your good name? Tejas. So Tejas' speech was little unique because he had said something like 13 rows and 15,000 columns. See, when you give some numbers, then it is interesting, right? So we can talk about a whole lot of the concepts and everything, but then see, the moment you say 13 columns and 15,000 this or whatever may be, it gives, so rather than saying big data, you can say something like this, right? And anything which is specific will love it. मालूम होता है कौन है तो अच्छा लगता है नहीं, ऐसे अच्छा नहीं लगता. So numbers gives you this specification that okay, this is the thing, right? Very good. Yes, sir, please start. Guys, please.
So good morning, respected sir and my dear friends. I Siddesh Sunil Begum today. I am here to give you a brief on how SQL helps companies to make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. So basically, what SQL is, it is a structured query language, and it is a programming language that helps you to access, sort, and manipulate data. It is nothing. What is database? Database is nothing but a collection of data. The reason this language is being used is it is not difficult to code, easy to operate, view, and also let's take the example and let's imagine that we have a database for insurance losses. So we have a database which have data of people having license from age 18 to 13, and let's assume that we have 2,000 bikes and let's say 1,000 cars. So we use the group by data to sort to make columns like age 18 to 30, 30 to 45, and 45 to 60. So after giving group by clause, we'll be able to sort the data and categorize the data. So we can put the command like maximum losses, which shows the maximum number of losses that are going to take place. So we can see that in age 18 to 30, there are 500 bike losses and 200 car losses, while in the age group of like 45 to 60, there are just 100 bike losses and 20 car losses. Probably the people of that age might be resting home and chilling at their homes. and 18 to 30 are young blood, so they might be facing accidents on the roads. So here we can see that how the company make profit by using SQL.
Good. So just a thought, like, so there was an article where they are saying that in Maharashtra, the number of vehicles, these four-wheelers. So they have a data from the showroom, okay, and then the kind of insurance or the kind of road tax that should come to the government is not in that proportion. You're getting my point? Yes. Now, can we do something? Can we apply any of these concepts to help the government to how to recover those money? Right? Now, this may be a very basic example, but then trust me, this is a very different than what are the problems that you are discussing throughout this curriculum. There are some genuine ground realities. And trust me, if the project or the problem statement that you are going to use, which has a kind of impact in the revenue for the government or for the common man, that will make the difference. That will make the difference. मैं आपको day one से बोल रहा हूँ, जब मेरी हमारी पहली मुलाकात आप लोगों की हुई कि आप ऐसा ही प्रोजेक्ट चूज करें, क्योंकि वो दोनों के लिए यूनिक हो, दोनों के पास बहुत कुछ होगा बात करने। लेकिन अगर आप वही वैक्सीनेशन, वही इंश्योरेंस, वही स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, वही टैक्सी फेयर, तो वो मजा नहीं आएगा. Okay, so we'll take one small break, and then we'll come after the break and we'll start with the rest of it, and then I will discuss about the concept of storytelling and the concept of public speaking. However, I must accept this that you guys are really doing great, and I want to clap for each one of you. It's a really you have taken this opportunity to come here and express your thoughts. Okay, so we'll take one small break and we'll come. Okay, online students, see you at 10:45. Yes, please come here. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone.
Very good.
My name is Rupali Dore, and today's topic is SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useful data. Okay? Useless data. Sorry. SQL is a structured query language, and I am talking about SQL's simplicity and SQL speed. Another benefit of using SQL is the simplicity of the language. In integration, speed, alter data within a table and create a table, change data structure. SQL is a widely used programming language designed to interface with databases. SQL is a simple language. SQL commands are common English phrases which can help programmers better understand what they are asking the language to do. The simplicity of the language can help new professionals in the field learn more quickly. And then SQL speed. SQL has the ability to function at high operating speed. This high speed can increase the amount of data retained in a professional complete. It can provide a quick and efficient way for users to retrieve, manipulate, or store data in a table. Okay. Sir, I can speak in Hindi.
Okay.
एग्जाम्पल हमें योगेश सिंह सर ने एक एग्जाम्पल दिया था डेटा
I hope it is not getting on the record. So just stop this. See. Now, so when you say that Yogesh sir ने हमें एक example दिया, now this is really great to hear that technology. But see, something has to come from your side as well, no? You are getting my point. सर को पढ़ाना, सर ने आपको पढ़ा दिया, लेकिन कुछ चीजें तो आपके तरफ से भी आनी चाहिए. So maybe the concept you can discuss that this is what that was taught to me by Yogesh sir, but the example has to come from your side. Okay. Go ahead.
In our country, many accidents led by vehicle age.
The same one. Yeah. Then don't get into example. Try and be something different, no? Something different. See, the trainer will use one example, right? Because the trainer, this is something you need to, you need to take that learning from the example and see that which are the other areas or maybe other possible things where we can use this. That is where your understanding will play the role. Right? Saying the same thing what I have said or somebody else had said will not solve the problem. Okay? Yeah, right. So you want to come? Please come. After this. It will be okay in next 5 minutes. In 5 minutes it will be okay because we have just come up close. Yeah. It's off. Yeah, please.
Good morning, everyone. Our today's topic is SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. SQL is a structured query language. SQL keeps things organized and simple predicting database. Sometimes there are many number of columns, rows, like more than 1,000. And this is very difficult to analyze or get exact value from this number of columns and rows. So to get exact values, we can use in our SQL command like inner join, outer join, or a left, right, outer join. From this we get exact values that we want. And also sometimes there are same number of columns or tables. So to add this table, we can use union, or to delete from this table duplicate values, we can use union all command. And also from SQL, in SQL we can identify the find maximum minimum values, like in some companies there are we can find employee ID or employee salary and their city or their information. SQL helps us to analyze the perfect data that we want. So SQL, from SQL we can find the null values also. So SQL is very useful for us to analyze our data.
Right. Next. Then I will show you the perfect example of today's activity. Okay. So let me see a few more speeches and then.
So, good morning to one and all present here. My name is Priyanka Sanjeevi. I'll be speaking on how SQL helps companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. SQL stands for Standard Query Language. SQL is used to manage database and access data from database. Database is nothing but collection of data. So this tool can be used to store the data and also in analyzing the data. SQL offers various functions and clauses with the help of which we can generate insights. For example, if we have sales data of 1 year and by applying various queries on it, we can answer which month the sales was highest, which product was sold the most, and ratio of profit and loss. All these questions on data like how, what, and where can be answered using SQL. Previously, Excel was used to generate insights from the data, but it was difficult to filter out the data and remove the junk data from using SQL. Using Excel. So where SQL came into picture, a huge amount of data can be sorted and filtered by performing certain queries, which will give you the result in fractions of seconds. So tools where you can perform these queries are Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and with the help of these tools, you can generate insightful decisions that will be fruitful to the company.
Morning all. So I am about to talk on how SQL helps companies to make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. So SQL basically stands for structured query language. So what SQL does is, if you want to find out something, you just have to run certain amount of codes and you get the result in the fraction of seconds. So SQL is extensively used in the corporate world. So in today's world, the corporate sector uses SQL widely. So SQL does is helps to give us the data we need in simple language and understand it. SQL uses multiple commands to analyze the data. By using SQL, we can filter out and analyze lakhs and lakhs of entries in no time. By using SQL, or rather, SQL gives us the right and correct data and how the data company wants. So, for an example, in banking sector, so banking sector is a kind of sector where there is no margin for error. If you do something wrong, the data will get lost, and the customer may have to suffer a huge loss. So in banking, there are lots of entries which customer has withdrawn money or deposited money, or which customer has closed or opened a new account. And what SQL does is it helps the customer to give us the right data of how much money the customer has withdrawn or deposited. If the and SQL has no error. If there is an error in the code, it shows us what error it has given. So it is beneficial for the organization to give them the right entries.
Very good.
Thank you.
But the only thing is that his speech was not restructured. Okay. Yeah, please come.
So good morning, everyone. My today's topic is SQL help companies make insightful decisions from otherwise useless data. In today's world, in each and everything, even in daily routine things, there are terms and millions and millions of data is generated. And all the well-known companies like Google and Microsoft all have said by their own words, like we are generating data to each and every seconds. I'll basically explain what is SQL first. SQL is a structural query language, or it can be said in many various terms like MySQL or SQL. SQL is a tool or a programming language used to sort data or make useful data from useless data, or we can say from raw form of data. SQL has become a standard in ANSI, American National Standard Institute, in 1986, and also it has been an international organization of standard in 1987. It helps to describe the data which is generated by various customers, or which has generated from multiple customers, and helps to access, sort, and manipulate the data in better useful form, or from useless form to useful form. Some simple use of MySQL is to create table or create database, or to drop table or drop database. And for an example, I'll give a recent example. I'll take a situation of COVID. I'll take a situation of COVID vaccine. There was lots of chaos from which age we will get vaccine, and from when we will get vaccine. We have seen multiple people coming in vaccine centers and making chaos, like when they will get the vaccine and which age is preferable for the vaccine. So now in this stage where people are saying that booster vaccine is compulsory, or maybe in the future more vaccine can be coming. So from the use of MySQL, we can distribute the data and take all the data and segregate it properly. So it will be useful for a government to give the proper vaccine to the proper age of people.
Anyone else? Anyone else? No one? You want to come? Last. Yes, come and then we can see.
Good morning, friends. SQL is a structured query language. As we are in a digital world, we got the digital data in the tremendous amount. So by one or by manual method, the human tendency to work can create errors. So to reduce that error, we can use SQL. Here the SQL comes like so in company SQL work like demand. So it vanishes demand. It vanishes our problem and chances of error like error 99.9% like data. So SQL SQL plays very important role in data handling. In this, we can alter the data arrange data by using the SQL. We can boost our speed of work like difference between our 800 and 227. अगर SQL ना होता तो हम क्या करते? By using SQL, we can find the specific data within milliseconds. So it helps to increase our productivity. Also, in SQL, we can add data between adding data between without breaking its sequence. So it's like having butter on bread. Here we can correlate the data of columns and rows by using the relevant and irrelevant data. We can make sense of data. SQL plays very important role in SQL. Reduces distance between companies and us. Example like as a kid of farmer, we can use the data from village at Aadhar Seva Kendra to compulsate them to fill the actual data, and by using this data in SQL, we can apply government scheme on them. So for the farmer, just like take the data like loan having the having any income having, by using the SQL, we can help him in concession taxes and help him in money problems, so we can reduce society.
Right. So, you know, like he was really able to draw some differences, like Shaktiman or butter and something. Now, the only thing that we all have to work is that we have to try to say the same thing without holding any paper or any notebook in hand. Right? See, you only have written this. Maybe you can take the help. Okay, so maybe point wise, but most of the time you have to focus on this. Okay. So last thing, sir, can you come please here? Please come. Okay, so this is the perfect SQL speech. Okay, we have to get something from him. Like the start was really good. The way she has explained in between, okay, and the kind of example that we gave that one go and how very was very specific, right? Now, what you three should do actually is that you need to spend some time together to really craft the best speech, and maybe that you can share in the group on the WhatsApp, okay, so that everybody is getting benefited, and that is how actual learning happens. कोई जरूरी नहीं कि किसी साइंटिस्ट के बुक में ही जाके हम उस चीज को लेके आए, आप भी कर सकते हैं, उसने हमें रास्ता दिखा दिया, हम अपना भी कर सकते हैं, और मे बी आपके नोट्स पढ़ के हमको सिलेक्शन दे सकते हैं, राइट? दैट इज वेयर वी आर गोइंग टू मेक द डिफरेंस. कैन वी हैव अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज? आई होप किसी को कोई कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं है अभी क्यों इनको बुलाया हम, ऐसा नहीं है. We are there. Okay, very good. That should be the speed. Okay. So see, so when we are discussing everything, we had discussed the foundation of soft skills, right? Where we had talked about your SWOT analysis. Yes or no? Yes. Then we had discussed about time chart. I don't know whether you were following or not. The third one is that we had discussed about something called as time. How to prioritize the task. Okay, where we had a good kind of debate whether multitasking is good or this, you know. And then we had discussed elevator pitch. The elevator pitch was the most crucial thing of that particular session, where you know that that is going to be the first speech that you are going to deliver in front of the recruiter. Okay, and we all know that first impression is the last impression. So my dear friend, please work on that. Please work on that. It really takes a lot of time. As I have given you the example of Surya Kumar Yadav, who is the latest sensation in Indian cricket. So see how they make the difference. So you know, so the bowler thinks that he is going to play maybe in the offside or maybe that side, and by the time he has left that particular ball, he has just taken all together a new shot and he has hit it for six. So that is called as improvisation. So don't be rigid that okay, on 20th of August or maybe 20th of September I had this session and I created my elevator pitch. No, you need to evolve that elevator pitch on a daily basis. What one word, what one sentence that I can add new to this? Maybe what I can remove it from this, right? And in this process, you will feel that you are actually there on that particular day and really speaking each and everything to the point where everybody is actually glued to you and they are listening to you whatever you are saying. That is from where you start making the difference. अगर आप पहले बॉल पे सिक्स मारते हो, आप कॉन्फिडेंस में होते हो और बॉलर कहाँ होता है आपको मालूम? आप इमेजिन करो आपको पहली बॉल आई और आपने सिक्स हिट किया, आप इमेजिन कर सकते हो क्या कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल आपका होगा उसके बाद, है कि नहीं? कोई जरूरी है कि गिर के ही संभलेंगे? अरे शुरू से संभल के रहेंगे तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ठीक है, तो वो है आपको, अगर आपने एलिवेटर पिच अच्छे से किया इसका मतलब आपने पहली बॉल पे सिक्स लगाया, उसके बाद में अगर एक दो डक भी खेल जाओगे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि रन तो आ चुके हैं, राइट? So elevator pitch पे आप काम करो. I want each one of you to create that and maybe if possible put that particular script on the LinkedIn. If that is possible, put that video on the LinkedIn. This is all about showbiz. आप कितना दिखा सकते हैं, right? So that is something you need to do. Now what we are going to do is that since this is about elevator pitch and all, so the concept comes down to one thing and that is called as public speaking, right? Now see, this is not the right language. You should open it, yeah, ready it. Be flexible, be accommodative, okay? So don't close yourself. Now, when we are talking about public speaking, why we are talking about public speaking? Why this particular concept has become so important? And you know, there is a research that if you are an aspiring data scientist or if you are working in the field of data science and in spite of multiple interviews, if you are not able to crack that interview, it means you don't have the story, right? And that's why storytelling is very important in data science. We'll discuss that today as well. And then the storytelling, that public speaking, they all have to come together. So you tell me why public speaking is very important in today's time. You have to tell me, and then definitely I will explain that.
Confidence building.
Confidence building, okay. What else?
If you have to imply any idea on certain topics.
Okay. What else?
Audience connection.
Audience connection. Very good. Who said that? Very good. Next.
So realization.
Huh?
Our point of view.
Your point of view. Very good. So you get this opportunity to share your unique thought. Okay.
So realization. Make them realize about some topic or concern
to the audience.
Yes, to the audience.
Okay. What else? See, the best part of public speaking, why companies are looking for a good public speaker, we'll see. It is not that. I mean, it has been always there, but probably that was more into bits and pieces. But see, many a time what happens that, you know, maybe because of your background or maybe it's because of your cultural progression and all, you are not that confident to share your thought. So for example, if I had come from Marathi medium and now all of a sudden when we see all these big giants coming from Harvard to IITs and all, and in spite of having that unique idea or maybe that particular thought, I am not confident. Right? But one thing we'll learn that if we have to present that idea, and if you are a good public speaker, you will be having enough confidence to put that idea in front of the team. So the ability to get your unique idea on that particular table, that is why one of the reason to need that. Now see a Marathi medium guy who has actually studied through Marathi medium up to class 12th or maybe 10th, whatever maybe. And when he has this confidence to share his thought in the first job itself, or maybe his unique idea, it means he has enough confidence, right? So that is something inherently we are acquiring. We are working on that indirectly. Maybe that particular individual has worked on his language, right? Then he has this realization, that rational thought process that, okay, this idea is relevant here. So these are multiple benefits an organization gets when they talk about public speaking. And see, when you have to come here and you have to say something, you simply cannot come and say something. All of you have to spend maybe 20-25 minutes of time in getting this article done, SQL. Yes or no? So, and when you have to come on the public platform, it means you have done some kind of homework, right? You have worked on the data, you have worked on the findings, you have verified the things again and again, because you have to come here and you have to say it to a group of people. So that is another aspect of public speaking, where you involve yourself in the process and you really learn more and more. You want to be accurate, you want to be authentic. And these are the benefits for public speaking. The another one is that, see, when we are there face to face, right? For example, Gauri is with the camera on and all. So probably maybe, you know, I can see her and I can have some kind of assumption whether she is understanding it or not, whether you guys are listening to me or not. But when we are in a culture where we are working from home, right? Now, the HR, the team managers, they can't see you, right? So I don't know through what kind of pressure, what kind of stress you are going through. I'm not aware of, because I can't see you. You're getting my point. So in that process, if we don't have confidence to say something, how I will come to know? Right? So in the era of remote work culture and all, we really need people to speak up their mind, to speak their thought, whatever they have, so that me sitting far, maybe I am managing you, I am in USA, maybe you are under my team, right? I am in USA, you are in India, you are working from home. I don't know with what kind of pain, pleasure, you know, happiness you are going through. So until unless you have that confidence, you will not share it with me, and hence I will not be able to make the best use of your talent. So that is another reason of being a good public speaker. Okay. Now, so when we talk about public speaking, I'm going to share this one video with you all. I want each one of you to focus on this video and see what are the things that we can learn from this particular video. And then we'll discuss how we can deploy or how we can employ those things that we are learning from this video in our day-to-day life, so that when I am going for an interview, or maybe when I am asked to come here and give a presentation, I am able to touch upon those learnings. So should I share the video? Yes? Okay.
Barack Obama in 2004 was totally unknown. People were saying, I don't know who this guy is. I wonder why they picked him.
He had this reputation as a bit of an upstart, as sort of a young, rising figure in the party, but no one knew who this guy was. This was his chance to introduce himself to people.
Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya.
What makes a great political speech is if you can somehow fold your story into this larger American story.
The next thing he says is about his mother's family. His grandfather fought in World War II. He used the GI Bill. They settled in Kansas, so white people could say, he's just like us.
My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible.
Going into this speech, we've had 4 years of George Bush, and we felt as a country like we've grown further apart.
2004 was very much a divisive partisan race. Obama's speech is in some ways an antidote to that.
Alongside our famous individualism, there's another ingredient in the American saga, a belief that we're all connected as one people. If there is a child on the south side of Chicago who can't read, that matters to me even if it's not my child. If there's a senior citizen somewhere who can't pay for their prescription drugs and having to choose between medicine and the rent, that makes my life poorer even if it's not my grandparent. It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work. E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
He gives a speech that presages his entire political message of 2008, which is this sort of post-partisan argument.
Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Obama was born with two great gifts. One is his mind, and the other is his ability to speak to large groups of people.
There are three things that Obama does that really makes that speech effective. He wants concrete detail. He likes story, and he loves antithesis, the use of repetition and structure to show contrast. There is not a liberal America or a conservative America. There is one America.
There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states, but I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little League in the blue states, and yes, we've got some gay friends in the red states. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America.
The way he uses his hands, he actually points a lot and does a lot of this, and a lot of this, and a lot of that.
In doing so, he gives off this sense of energy. I am new, I'm someone who is dynamic.
And he doesn't do that so much anymore. He's a little more solemn and reserved when he gives speeches today, but I think is more reflective of his office.
In the end, that's what this election is about. Do we participate in a politics of cynicism, or do we participate in a politics of hope? It's the hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. The hope of a young naval lieutenant bravely patrolling the Mekong Delta. The hope of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. the audacity of hope.
His appearance at that convention, which was the best speech of the convention, better than John Kerry's, was electrifying, and without it, he wouldn't be president.
I think sincerity means a lot. There are people who, when they speak the truth as they see it, and they're very effective doing that.
I believe this country will reclaim its promise, and out of this long political darkness, a brighter day will come. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.
Okay, so I want each one of you to share your thoughts on this. What are the things that we can learn from this?
The speech was appealing and promising.
Okay, so how we are going to implement this?
Example. By putting on examples, giving examples.
Okay. Next.
Sir, start to end connection with audience.
So how you are going to implement this? Okay.
In this speech, we will talk about the point. Firstly, talk about the common people problems. Firstly, give the attention to the problems of the United States. Then finally, the conclusion is talking about the way forward and is talking about the solution. In short, in the introduction, we should talk about the present. Then in the conclusion, we can talk about the solution and the way forward. And also, I think we need to understand what the problem is and finding the solution.
Very good. So you have to be solution oriented, right? So when the question is being asked, maybe how you can elaborate on that particular problem and then how you can come and give the solution. Okay, very good. Next.
So he, in his speech, he showed himself as a common man. He didn't show that he is beyond people or above people. He is among the people. He showed, and he has also conveyed the idea.
How we are going to implement this in our interview or maybe in our preparation?
So in our interview, so we can elaborate the idea.
Okay. Yeah.
So the confidence that man said Obama was not that much famous in that time. But still he delivered that speech with that confidence and with that structure.
Yes. So when you have that confidence, and he has also said that when you say something with confidence, people tend to believe because they believe that this is the truth. Right? So when you say confidently, anything, then and if you go back to the first session where we had discussed about the elevator pitch, where we had said that it should be persuasive. You remember that? You remember that? No. Say no. And that is the problem. So see, when you were telling me something and I'm like, then it means I'm believing whatever you were saying. And I'm like, it means, so that is where, and you remember that one word was there, electrifying. You got that word? Electrifying speech. You remember there was just that one word. My dear friend, when you were there in the interview, your smile on the face, your facial expressions, that body language, that will also make the difference. His speech was really good, but he was really low on the energy. You have recorded his video? You watch this. You are getting my point. So, don't take it. देखो, we are here to learn. So, कोई चीज़ आप personally मत लिखा. मेरा concept क्या होता है? किसी और का example लेने से अच्छा हम class में, because सबने देखा है, तो आप सब लोग relate कर सकते हैं. That is all. So that energy is very important. Right? See, today when we came, I was one among you to be here on the time. Yes or no? Few of you were there. Right? So see, I'm a family person. In spite of all those things, I am high on my energy, where I am my kids, my family, and everything. So when I am so excited about this lecture, why you can't be? Make the difference. And see, when you will learn everything in that excitement, with that enthusiasm, with the same way you are going to present it also. So that will also make the difference. Being a fresher or being data science the first job, your energy and enthusiasm will be the key in deciding whether you are going into the job or you are coming out of the job. See, nobody wants to work with a lazy guy or who is really very dull. No, आप नहीं चाहो. आप अपने फ्रेंड को बोलो फोनिक स्मॉल चल यहाँ से अरे चल लोनावाला आप बोले भाई तो किसी आश्रम में जा मैं तो निकल रहा हूँ. So that energy has to be there. And that is that when that energy is there, अगर आप उसमें कुछ गलत सही भी निकल गया तो मैनेज हो. So that power, that confidence, that energy, that body language, all these things are equally important. And with that, there is one other concept he has discussed called as storytelling. No, he said that there are three unique things. So storytelling is very important. We'll discuss that. But one more thing was there. He had said that antithesis, repetition of something again and again. And that is where this speech is going to make the difference. So for example, when we are talking about this, so how we are going to implement that concept of antithesis. So when you get the job description, and I had said this in the first class as well, that try and read that job description again and again. Maybe take a break, go for a walk, have your dinner, whatever maybe, and again read it after 2-3 hours. See that whether your understanding is a little different this time than what you had. And when you have the exact understanding about that particular job description, then we can work on the formula called as okay, and this is the formula. What do you mean by this? So 4D means try and find out the exact 4 domain skills that particular organization is looking for. So for example, maybe SQL is the primary one. Okay, but then what are the associated skills? See, SQL will not work in isolation, no? They need something else from you. Okay. So try and find out that combination of 4 domain skills and 3 soft skills, maybe 2 soft skills. So for example, if it is a kind of a startup form, okay, then they need somebody who is really innovative, who has the ability to take initiatives, who has ability to do multiple things. Because this is a startup, right? They need people who can do multiple things. So if I have this understanding, probably accordingly, I can talk about my soft skills. We have one form called as very aggressive form, Byju's. We all have read about them in one or the other article. They are really very aggressive. Then there is another form called as TCS, Tata Group. Where I have anyone who has worked for TCS here? So TCS, they say that it's a kind of government organization. So the soft skills that you require for TCS is altogether different from what you require for Byju's. Yes or no? Yes. So maybe if you are giving the wrong soft skills with respect to that organization, that will also make the difference. So my dear friend, this is really very important for you to understand the base of the organization, the culture of the organization. Right? How many of you have been ever part of any discussion related to marriage at your home or somewhere? Any marriage discussion at your home? Have you been part of that? Right? Not exactly about you, maybe your brother, sister, anybody. Right? So they talk about 36 qualities. कुछ ऐसा होता है। तो जितना मैक्सिमम गुण मिलता है उतनी अच्छी वो मैरिज होती है, ऐसा माना जाता है। वैसे ही आप कंपनी से जितना अच्छा मैच करोगे, जितना अच्छा मैच कर लोगे उसके वर्क कल्चर को, उसकी एचआर पॉलिसी को, उसके बिजनेस मॉडल को, आप उतना अच्छा अपने कॉन्सेप्ट को एक्सप्लेन कर पाओगे। आपके एक्सप्लेनेशन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप अच्छा एक्सप्लेन करते हो, वो रिलेवेंट नहीं होता है, राइट? सो 4 domain, 3 soft skills and 1 unique selling character, your 1 individual character. You remember we had done this 1 activity, your strengths and weaknesses. 1 strength you believe that is going to augment, that is going to add value. Your perseverance, your resilient nature, your hardworking ability, being on time. See, what is that 1 thing which is going to add value? Okay? And when you combine all these things together and you present, then it is sure shot that you are going to get that job. Now, why we are talking about this 4D, 3S and 1US? See, he has used 1 term called as antithesis, repetition of something again and again. Barack Obama had said, it is not about Latino America or a Greek America, it is about United States of America. It is not about a conservative America or a liberal America, it is about United States of America. Right? Same way, when you are there in the interview, they will say, tell me something about yourself. Actually, it's saying, tell me something that you can do here. That is what he said. When he is saying, why do you want to work for this company? Why should we hire you? Actually, he is touching upon. So, repetition of something again and again. In all these questions, in different, through different mode, through different sentences, we have to talk the same thing. भाई हम दोनों के बीच में कॉमन तो यही है ना, आपके और एम्प्लॉयर के बीच में कॉमन तो यही है। तो whatever the number of opportunities that you are getting, either in that 1 single interview or in the multiple interviews with the same organization, try and see. It is your ability that how quickly you can bring this again and again into your discussion. You are getting my point? So that is something which we need to do. Now, if you have any question, you can ask. If you have any question, you can ask. Any question? So repeat. See. Actually, see. Let me tell you differently. Interview is what? Interview is a process through which the company is trying to find someone who can solve their problem. Yes or no? Yes. What is the problem? Problem is that they need somebody who can do a certain defined task in the field of data science. Yes or no? So that is the pain area, or that is the problem area where I have to go and perform this. So when you are able to create multiple opportunities to give that solution, it means you are winning my confidence. So the repetition, what it means is that with your unique intelligence, with your kind of preparation, with your kind of thought, you need to create multiple avenues to talk about those skills for which they are actually hiring you. You're getting my point. See, I want you to appreciate me. Actually, I want you to appreciate me. लेकिन अगर मैं आपको बोलूँगा कि आप मेरे को appreciate करो, तो आप बोलेंगे यार कैसा है? लेकिन अगर मैं आपको पूछूं मेरा लेक्चर कैसा लगा, That is where you are. See, we cannot ask for the things directly, right? See, this one guy, he just goes there and he will say, no, I want to grow older with you. He had said everything. Yes or no? In one sentence, he had said everything. He has talked about trust. He has talked about loyalty. He has talked about integrity. He has talked about his likings and everything. Just one sentence. So that is the power we need to create. Right? So, and if you remember, even the elevator pitch, I had said this. See, we cannot say things directly. So that is where we had discussed about the concept of vision statement, where through that particular statement, I want to highlight my personal abilities. Belief system, I want to highlight my ability to do something. Right? So when you bring all these things together, they are going to like it. Okay? Any other question? So I have answered your question. Any other question? No question? See, generally we fumble for that. There can be two reasons. One is that maybe you are lacking upon the content, and you are lacking upon the content because of, again two reasons. One is that maybe your delivery is fast and your thinking is slow. Right? So by the time your brain is able to provide you the next content, you have finished the first one. So that is where that gap is coming in. Okay. So the only thing to overcome that is that whatever you have to say, try and write it first. Okay. And see that, you know, how slow or maybe how fast you can deliver so that you are not fumbling. The second way you can do is that whenever you do a demo at your home itself, just put your mobile somewhere and try and record and go through that video and see that, okay, why I have fumbled here, and you will get the reason. So if the reason is that your brain is not able to think and provide you the content, or maybe you are too fast, okay. So when whatever the reason is there, just work on that. Okay. So that will help you. So do whole, just it will take not more than 5-7 minutes to do one activity. See, you have just started with Python, right? Maybe the introductory session has been done for you. Go to your home and just try and record whatever you can recall from those 4 hours of lecture. एक चीज मैं आपको बताऊं, रील्स बनाने आता आपको? आता है भाई? डेटा साइंस का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट बना के सर्कुलेट करो ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम? कोई जरूरी है कि करके ही बनाएंगे? डेटा साइंस के बारे में बात करो, कोई एक एग्जांपल उठाओ, कोई एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट, उसके बारे में आप अपना व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस बनाओ, उसको आप अपने फ्रेंड्स को सर्कुलेट करो. That is how make your character an academic character till the time you have that job. Everything that you are doing is leading you to data science. Everything. आप मस्ती करो, रील बनाने से कौन रुकेगा? मैं तो नहीं रुकता भाई. लेकिन क्या मैं कोई एक यूनिक इंफॉर्मेशन डेटा साइंस के बारे में 30 सेकेंड्स या 50 सेकेंड्स जो भी उसका टाइम मैं कर सकता हूँ क्या? Trust me, 60 seconds, they are very powerful. They are very powerful. So utilize that, make your WhatsApp status or anything. I mean, maybe you can on your Insta page as well, you can discuss about this. And when, you know, these companies, when they have done your final interview, sometimes this bigger one, they take at least 10 days to give you that joining and all. In between, they do analyze all these things. They do analyze. The more and more, and what I had said, marriage वाले में जितना गुण आप मिला लो, तो उस प्रोसेस में भी कई बार मैरिज फिक्स होने के बाद भी टूट जाती है. होता है ऐसा? एंगेजमेंट होने के बाद भी टूटा हुआ है, क्योंकि उसको कुछ ऐसा पता चला जो ठीक नहीं था. तो और रिस्क हम ले सकते हैं क्या? तो आप अपने जो भी आपके सोशल मीडिया पेज हैं, जो व्हाट्सएप है, उसको इतना आप ट्रांसपेरेंट कर दो, उसको इतना नॉलेजेबल कर दो कि दे आर बाउंड टू हायर. Trust me guys, this will take, I mean, all these things will not take much of your time, but it will really create whole lot of impact. Whole lot of impact. Okay, so that is the way you can do. Any other question from anybody, online, offline? Okay, so now we are going to discuss the concept of storytelling. So why do you think that storytelling is important? What is the importance of storytelling? Yeah. So establish the relationship. Very good. So through a story, we get that opportunity to establish kind of relationship. Very good. What else?
Attention of audience.
So why a story gets that attention?
Sir, because it is easy to understand.
It is easy to understand. Okay, very good. What else?
Connection with the audience. Connection with the audience.
Yes. So and why you are able to establish that connection through a story?
Storytelling is that can be easily understood.
Very good. Very good. What else?
Sir, for connection, sir, connection is necessary so that we can make them understand what we are processing.
Yes, but then what else? Why storytelling? I mean, everything is correct what you guys are saying, but I want to listen more.
Catching the audience attention and to convince the audience about what point of view.
Okay, very good. What else? So all these things that we are saying is they are correct. They are correct. But all these things happen because a story gives you an opportunity to integrate everything. You present it in a totality. Right? You present it in a totality. So when everything is complete, when the things are complete, we like it. Right? So for example, if there is a question that, tell me about your strengths. And you say like, sir, I'm hardworking. I'm punctual. And maybe you are saying that, so I really like to assess myself on a daily basis. I do an audit of myself. After joining this program of data science, I was really taught how I can do this more effectively. And after doing that particular assessment, what I have realized that out of 640 lectures, I was always on time. So one thing that I can say that I'm punctual. And not missing any one of those lectures is also talks about that I'm a hardworking person. आपने क्या क्या एस्टैब्लिश कर दिया? आप कैजुअल नहीं हो, आप कितने सिंसियर थे, आप रियली में बिल्कुल टाइम पे थे, आपने इस प्रोग्राम को कितना सीरियसली लिया है, और हार्ड वर्किंग और पंक्चुअल तो है ही. You are getting my point. So this is the power of the story. This is the power of the story. The second thing is that the story really gives you an opportunity to set up the context. So when I was asked about my personal abilities, about my strengths, I set up the context of my academics, my training as well. So I have explained myself within the ambit of that data science training. So if you go through this particular answer, starting from the first word till the last word, everything is relevant for that person. There is nothing, even not a single word which is irrelevant. So when you are talking about something in a given context, it really makes the content interesting. I'm really finding it very interesting. Wow, amazing. Just do a simple calculation. 6 months program, right? 64 weeks. And 64 into 4, how much? I said something extra. So bring down to 300 kind of. Okay. So when you say something like this, that I have not missed a single hour of 300 plus hours of the training that was done for me, it talks about your hard work. It talks about your sincerity. Yes or no? And this is where a story helps. So when we are talking about the story, there are 5 important things that we need to keep in mind. And the first one is character. It is about whom? So it is about me. Because you asked me, tell me about your strength. But maybe the question is, tell me about an incident where you had really faced a lot of challenges. So then there will be multiple characters. So maybe if I want to talk about my previous job, maybe I want to talk about my college days, maybe I want to talk about my family circumstances. So accordingly, the characters will vary along with me. So me and my family, or me and my professor, me and my friends, or me and my ex-colleague. Right? So the characters are very important. And when you have character in your story, it makes things more specific. Okay? Then the second thing is the plot. Exactly about what you are going to discuss. Exactly. Right? So maybe the plot is around the college environment where none of my friends were in my favor. Or maybe the plot is about that family circumstances where I was not able to afford my education after passing out my class 12. Okay, that one theme, that one exact, in a sense, that the issue area or the problem area. Okay. Then the third thing which is important in this is the setting part. So what is the background of this? So this was about a project that we had to do together, or maybe this was about my further education, or this was about my previous records and the future. Something, maybe you need to find it out. Okay. So the setting part is very important. Okay. Then the fourth one is that the exact problem that arised that you had really solved. Okay. And the fifth one is okay. So for example, if I say that, tell me about your biggest achievement till date. Tell me about your biggest professional achievement, right? So this is about you, the character is you. Then the plot is that we are going to talk about the achievement. Then we are going to discuss the setting part. So it was about my college project achievement, or maybe the job achievement, or that kind of thing. Then exact problem. So what I did because of which I was able to recognize for this. And then what was the end result? The end result was definitely your achievement, but then what was the learning along with that? So learning was that one thing I realized, though I received that trophy and the check of 15,000 rupees from my director, I realized one thing, that hard work always pays. I realized one thing, that sincerity is the key to any success. I realized that in spite of knowing so many things, there is always a scope to learn something more. You're getting my point? See, achievements make you more humble. And if you are not humble, then that is the problem. So when you end up with that kind of humble statement, it talks about your personality. Though I have talked about my achievement, but I have also said that, sir, I am always open to learn anything. आप सब तो बोलते थे अपने strengths में, I'm a quick learner. I am willing to learn anything new. सबने लिखा था, most of you have written this. तो उसको शो करो ना भाई, वो कोई आपसे पूछेगा तभी आप बताओगे क्या? Yeah, see, who is going to come and ask me आप कैसे इंसान हो? ये मैं थोड़े पूछूंगा, लेकिन आपको बताना तो है कि आप कैसे हो, तो वो एवेन्यूज तो आपको क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा। Yes or no? This question was created in our minds. That who killed Katappa? Katappa, why Katappa killed Bahubali? ये क्रिएट किया गया। उस क्रिएशन के बाद हमको 2 साल सस्पेंस में रखा और फिर हमको एक मूवी बना के दिया जहां मेरे पॉकेट से पैसे निकाल के मेरे पास। And I was really happy to know. Oh, see, this is something we need to do. You are getting my point. See, I mean, I have learned most of the things from Bollywood movies. So, every statement where it is about your behavioral question or situation-based questions, end it with some kind of knowledge. Okay, and these are the words or the sentences which will actually make the difference. I don't know whether I have given you this example or not, but there is this one guy who sells this ice cream now, right? And so we go all the way to Switzerland and all these places, and we are really very happy to put that one photo that he is giving me ice cream like this. Right? Trust me, ice cream is the same. But his way of presenting is entirely different. And we are very happy. We are willing to pay premium for that. That quality guy, the ice cream which is giving to me for 60 rupees, I am willing to pay 250 rupees for this. Why? Because he has that ability to present in altogether different manner. I want to enjoy that moment. I'm not going to enjoy that ice cream, no. The guy to whom you are going to give the interview, he has been there in the job for the last 15, 13, 12 years. He is already bored of this SQL, But maybe the way you are going to present, he will like it. Oh, very good. Oh, this guy talked about Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Oh, really interesting. This guy knows the concept. And that is why I said look for some unique example. You know, there is this psychological research that taking interview is never the core job of that person. No, never. He has been already assigned certain tasks. He is doing that. All of a sudden, he gets one mail from the HR and the boss. Mr. Kaushal, be free between 1 and 3. We have 5 guys lined up for the interview. I'm not going to get extra compensation for that. Nobody is even bothered to ask me whether I'm free or not. But then this is my boss order. I have to do it. Right? Moreover, my wife has scolded me like anything on the same day. Trust me, how I'm going to take your interview. Imagine. I was expecting a 30% of hike during the appraisal. They have given me only 10%. Imagine how I'm going to take your interview. I have been asking for a very good chair for me to complete my task. They have never given me in the last 6 months. Imagine how I'm going to take your interview. These all are important factors. Yes or no? So it is our responsibility to make everything in our favor. You can't come out and say, yeah, he was lost somewhere. He will be lost. We have not paid money to him. He is going to pay money to us. And that is where your energy makes the difference. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not the way you are. And he will be like, oh, this guy is interesting. Let me talk to him. So tell me your problem statement. And then you are like, Uber car, cab, fare, this. Papa, I have been doing this. But when you talk altogether different problem, then you will come to you. Right? So my dear friend, I suggest you, I request you that please have something new with yourself, because आप भी किसी मूवी को दोबारा नहीं. The second thing is that attention span. Why reels are so famous? Because they just take maybe 30-45 seconds of our time. आप MTV पे song सुनते हो, immediately change कर दो. Because we don't have that much of patience. So we have to be quick. We have to create that impact within those 30 seconds and 45 seconds. That is why I said that your introduction speech should not be beyond 60-70 seconds. Because of that attention span, nobody has that much of time. Right? So, and when everything has to be quick, it has to be powerful. Okay? So, and throughout this entire discussion, that one thing is common, that practice will make the difference. So you really practice, just really work. Okay? So this is the concept of storytelling. Why we are discussing? Because during this particular process, they will ask you certain behavioral questions, situation-based questions. Tell me about a situation where you used your smartness. Okay? Tell me about a situation where your team has opposed your decision. Tell me about the biggest failure of your life. And you have to be ready to talk about this. So please think of all these questions. I have given you 7-8 questions. Just recall them, try and write their answers, because any one of them will be asked. Okay? Any question? No question. So with this, we'll close for the day. The next batch is waiting. I wish you all the best. Guys, please work. आप अपने आप को एकदम बिल्कुल इसमें लगा लो. There are really some good opportunities which are lined up. SQL, Python to them, medicine की तरफ. ये जिंदगी के 3-4 महीने ही महत्वपूर्ण. After this course, there is no other case. आपको बात समझ आ रही है? आपने बीटेक किया, आपने बीएससी किया, आपने एमएससी किया, आपने कुछ मैकेनिकल में कहीं जॉब किया, फिर आप यहाँ पे आ गए. अब कहाँ जाओ? Okay, so please work hard and wish you all the best. At any given point of time, if you feel like that there is anything that we can discuss, you may see me here. Please reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help. Okay? All the best. Thank you. So online students, we are closing for the day. Okay? Yeah. Just 2 minutes. Attendance. Thank you for reminding me. So this is PGA 35. No? So, okay. So Aarti का थे? Okay. Abdul Qayyum. Akansha. Akash Jadhav. We have Anurag. Okay. Anurag, all is well? Bhumesh. Bhumesh is absent. Gajanan. Gayatri. Okay. Gauri, she is online.
Present, sir.
Himanshu. Mahesh. नीरज किसको? Okay, okay. So we'll mark him present. No worries. Pratiksha Goel.
Yes, sir.
And Pratiksha Sanas. Okay. Priyanka Chaudhary. Rakshit. Rakshit is absent. Rupali. Rushabh. Sarang. सार्थक टोपी वाला. सत्यम. सौरभ. गौतम. वेरी गुड. श्रीकांत. सिद्धेश. सिद्धेश सिंह. सिद्धेश पी. वेरी गुड. तेजस. उमा. यश. वेरी गुड. आप नाम बताइए. निकिता. हाँ. विराज. Okay, so thank you guys. Please take care.
Thank you, sir.